Hello everyone, Jordan here, welcome back to a new review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the new Corsair HS75 XB wireless gaming headset for the Xbox One and Xbox Series X. This headset is officially licensed for Xbox and gives you an instant connection with super simple pairing, which of course I'll show you later in the video. Now before we get into it, as I know it will be asked, this can be used on PC, but you will need the wireless Xbox adapter for Windows, as this is primarily meant for use with Xbox. So the HS75, as in the name, is a wireless headset. Corsair claim a 20-hour battery life with 40 feet of range. It uses Dolby Atmos with 50mm neodymium drivers with a frequency response from 20Hz to 20kHz to give you the next level of immersion and precise 3D sound. A detachable noise cancelling microphone with a frequency response of 100 to 10kHz, onboard control for volume, game and chat mix, and an easy mute, which is all built into a lightweight construction with soft memory foam and leatherette coverings. Oh, and to top it all off, a 2-year warranty. So opening up the box, we'll find a USB cable for charging, the detachable microphone with an optional foam pop filter, instructions and a card with installation instructions for Dolby Atmos. So onto the headset itself, and if you watched my HS60 review that I did last week, this is a very similar design, just with a few colour changes. Instead of the camo on each ear cup, we have a nice matte black design, which personally for me is what I do prefer. Then we have a grey triangle pattern on the ear cups with a textured Corsair logo. Moving up, we have the aluminium yokes, which is part of what makes this headset so light, and also on that we have an incremental adjustment for each ear cup. You do have a great range of adjustability on there, so if you have a large noggin like myself, you'll have no problem wearing this headset. That top headband is very simple as well, with just a nice printed Corsair logo. One of the things I actually liked about the HS60 was the fact there wasn't a massive logo plastered on it, so again this is a really nice simplistic headband. The reverse of that is nice and padded, so you can wear this for extended periods of use without any discomfort. And moving down, we have the ear cups, which again are really nice and soft. So if we move down to the base of the headset, we have all our controls and options. Now to charge the headset, we're using a USB-C connection, which is really great to see. We definitely don't want to see any micro USB connections in 2020. There is a power LED on that as well when you turn the device on, and when it's plugged into USB-C for charging, it will glow amber. Up from that, we have a mute for the microphone, and that will give you an audible sound in the headset when you do enable that. And then further up, we have the volume control. This does have a click when you rotate it, and it's an infinite scroll wheel, but it does have very precise adjustment, so you can easily adjust the level of volume that you want. It's really nice that you can do ever so slight adjustments, as often other headsets have quite a large jump in between clicks. And then on the right side, we have our power button and our chat and audio mix. This does have a little bump when you hit the centre of it, so you can tell when it's 50-50, which is quite handy. Then if we go to the other side, we're going to see where we're going to plug in our detachable microphone. This does have a cover similar to the HS60, was a little bit fiddly to get on and off, and be careful when you take it off as it's quite easy to lose. The microphone plugs in really easily, and it's very flexible, so you can position it exactly how you want it. Of course, I do recommend 1 or 2 inches away from your mouth. And for those that are interested in how it sounds, here you go. I do think this is slightly better than the headset microphones that we generally see on the market. It's always a common complaint I find is that the audio is really poor on them. So as you can hear, certainly one of the better options for an Xbox headset. Now connecting this to the Xbox was one of the easiest experiences I've ever had attaching a device. Just simply press the connect button on the Xbox and then press and hold the power button on the actual headset. It will connect up together within a few seconds, and then you'll get a message on the screen when it's all ready. Please excuse the janky camera work, as you can probably tell I recorded that on my phone. So once you've connected that up and downloaded the Dolby Atmos software in the Microsoft Store, you'll see this message here saying that it's now ready to use through the Corsair HS75 XB. I'll explain more on Dolby Atmos in the conclusion. Now of course this is an Xbox headset, so we don't have any software or anything to show you, so it's just a case of giving you my thoughts, and strap in because I've got a lot to say. So I first went into Gears 5 without enabling Dolby Atmos, and I was super impressed with the sound, and then suddenly thought, wait a minute, the Atmos program isn't actually installed yet. It was actually really easy to put in, just literally search Dolby in the Microsoft Store on the console, then it's the first result. After installing that, just swap back to your game and then you're ready to go, nothing else is required. Once I did about 20 minutes or so of gaming, I went to play around with the onboard controls and found the volume button could be pressed in to activate 4 different preset EQ options. Each time this is pressed, you get an audible beep that's played between 1 to 4 times, depending on what preset is enabled. And after spending some time in each setting, this is what I found the presets to sound like. The first one is a general default sound. There's no real emphasis on any certain aspects, so quite a nice pleasant experience overall. The 2 I think is a mid scoop, but I could be wrong. 3 seem to be a mid and high lift, the vocals are very prominent. You still get a good bass, but I did find certain highs were a little bit sharp for me. And then 4 I feel was a bass and a high lift. You get a good clarity and a great surround, especially for hearing nearby enemies. Now I really like that there's preset options, as so many headsets I've tried have a standard 1 mode EQ, which is not to everyone's taste, so it's very good to see some different options here. Personally for me, I like preset 4, the bass and the high lift. For general listening I'd go for the first bass preset, but for really getting into a game and cranking up the volume, 4 is definitely the EQ for me. So once I tried out some different EQs, I went into some of the earlier acts of Gears 5, with lots of ravens flying overhead which sounded absolutely incredible. The deep thumping sound of the propeller is just so intense. I played an hour of the campaign before I realised I was actually there to try the headset and take notes, not just play the game. I was just so immersed, and the surround the Atmos provides is just so realistic. Any left to right sounds of a character or even a raven for example is so lifelike, it's crazy. In terms of what the individual aspects offer, the lows, mids and the highs, as I mentioned, the low thump of the Raven blades are incredible, as are the Tri-Shot Guardians or the Shepherd drop pods when they crash to the ground. The mids, highs and vocals are super clear. I did find the third preset to be a bit sharp as I mentioned, just personally for me the highs were a little bit too raised. The classic Gears of War blood and gut sounds, such as headshots and upper bodies falling to the ground after they've just been chainsawed in half, sound really gross, like mega gross. But that just adds to the realism of being really up close to everything. Now I did play some other games of course, but Gears 5 was one of the ones that offered a really wide spectrum of sound frequencies, plus it's one of the officially supported Dolby Atmos games, so that was a part of it too. Forza 7 is another one which sounds absolutely spectacular. You can hear individual parts of the engine and suspension for example. With the 4 preset EQs, whatever you put through this headset is fantastic, and I've been really impressed and so immersed in my gaming. If you're looking for a tactical advantage in online games, you can definitely hear nearby enemies, so this will really benefit you in that regard. The battery life is good, but there are some other headsets with a longer life, but I'd expect that Atmos takes quite a bit of juice, so a lower life is to be expected, and I'll happily take that trade. Being that I typically use this for a few hours each night, I didn't get even close to an empty battery, plus where this is USB-C, it's easy to swap out for your phone charger if you need a quick top up. So this is going to be on sale for £169 in the UK or €179, which will probably translate to the same in the States. Now this certainly isn't the cheapest headset on the market, not by a long shot, but if you're willing to see this more as an investment and splash out into a more immersive sound and just overall greater gaming experience, then you won't be disappointed. I usually game using an Atmos soundbar or other headphones, but I certainly won't be any more. The HS75 is just so much better. Now for a bit of context, the soundbar that I usually use retails at almost £1,000 and I'd rather use the HS75s, so that should give you an idea of how much I believe in this headset. Overall, it's an absolutely superb offering from Corsair, with a great construction, comfortable for extended use, good battery life and amazing sound. I will put a link in the description box if you want to pick a pair of these up. If you've got any more questions then of course please leave them in the comments box below and I'll get back to you. If you enjoyed this video then make sure to subscribe and ding the bell so you don't miss a video. Thank you all for watching, thank you for Corsair for sending this out for me to review, and I'll see you all in the next video.